All right, another update on the Venezuela raid. So some new conflicting information has come across my desk. Let's first start with a YouTuber, Suchamamis. I think that's how you pronounce it. In his video, Venezuela update, geolocation of helicopter landing, satellite imagery, destroyed vehicles, and etc., he claims Maduro was captured from a bunker connected by a tunnel network on the southeast side of the military installation.
As for the bunker entrance, here's a photo of it shared online by Venezuelan sources showing that it's now been destroyed. So presumably, the US destroyed the entrance after capturing Maduro and leaving, unless of course, the main insertion was done at the southern entrance, and this was destroyed by troops from the helicopter we saw landing here purely to block off the entrance and prevent any escape.
I've marked out the military installation. Google Maps made it easy by giving me a red line around the military installation. And I've pretty much confirmed that this is accurate by also plotting military checkpoints that would be needed to stop random people from entering the installation at will. I'm going to do some flying around in Google Earth for a second to help you get acclimated to the area that we will be discussing. I'm just improvised speaking right now, no script. That's the destroyed area from before. We've seen that on the news. I'm trying to keep it north. That's the other destroyed area to the east. And then this is a zoomed out picture of the whole installation as a whole. And yeah, that's it. It seems most of the east side of the installation is naturally protected by dense foliage, steep hills, and a long ridgeline connecting multiple hilltops. There is a road that rides along the ridgeline for miles, without any clear indication that it is connected with roads on the south side of the installation, which do go west and connect with the western border of the military installation, which is outlined by a highway. Now that YouTuber, I'm done wasting recording time trying to say their name, did share some satellite images I had not seen yet. The satellite image in question is of a military checkpoint on that eastern road that was completely obliterated during the operation. Remember, this YouTuber's theory is that Maduro was captured at a bunker on the east side of the military installation. If you traveled southbound on that eastern installation border road from the destroyed checkpoint, it would almost take you directly to the potential bunker in question, which is about 2 kilometers south of the destroyed checkpoint. But what I find odd is there is at least one checkpoint between the destroyed one and the potential bunker to the south, and possibly 3 in total. I can't tell what the other 2 are, which then I ask, why did they destroy one checkpoint so far away from the target location and not any of the checkpoints closer to the suspected bunker? Now that road is loaded with checkpoints, which leads me to believe there may have been layered security. This is not uncommon for military installations to do. I have been on one base for work that had 3 layers. And by the 3rd layer, you had to be physically escorted by someone while in the 3rd layer. And in layer 2, you had Marines with loaded weapons patrolling. They even stopped our project for a while and had to talk to our supervisor and make sure we were on the up and up before we could go back to work. But what an added layer of security does mean is that area is restricted to people already allowed on the military installation, past the 1st layer of security. Interesting for sure, to say the least, and does support that YouTuber's reasoning, but it doesn't explain that apparently random checkpoint being destroyed. Also, somewhat of an anti-smoking gun, the bunker in question is labeled on Google Maps as FANB Weapons Park, CAVIM, post-translation. I'm not going to embarrass myself attempting to read or speak Spanish. I can't even roll my R's. And with a bit of digging, found this article. Here are some quotes post-translation. I don't know how accurate this translation is. Google Translator gave me one thing, AI gave me another. They both pretty much said the same thing with slight differences. And I quote, I, Maduro, was very pleased that the weapons park of the male and female militiamen from the communal militia units is now installed and operating with the entire system of rifles, heavy weapons, and missiles to defend this large Caracas-La Guerra area. Now there is the strategy of hiding things in plain sight, which could be the case, but I'm doubtful a dictator wants a Google Maps pin on his oh shit bunker. But from mapping potential military sites in the area, I have a different potential location I'm leaning towards. If you travel north from that destroyed checkpoint, just 250 meters away, there's a helipad. And if you go north of that helipad, just another 300 meters, there is what almost looks like a nice villa sitting atop a hill. I spotted at least 2 checkpoints on either side of that potential villa, and the closest one to the south of that villa has been confirmed destroyed by satellite imagery. Alright, pretty serious note. I'm going to tread as lightly as humanly possible because as much as I would love to make a living off of my YouTube videos, I like the idea of principles, and one of those principles is I don't want to cause harm to anyone not deserving of it, in an attempt to make a living from my YouTube channel. So here I go, trying to be as careful as possible. What led me initially to look closer at that potential villa was a Google user posted a public marker on that potential villa that said, Maduro fell here. Post translation. I was hoping it was a local, but after going through that Google user's public posts, I've come to the determination that that person is a Venezuela-born person who left during the economic collapse in Venezuela years ago and has yet to come back, leaving me to believe this person most likely made that post remotely. But I think it does add some credibility to my theory. Most who have grown up in a military family or around a military installation knows things that most outsiders would not. This potential villa does sit very close to the installation border, and just down the hill from said potential villa is an elementary school and other civilian residences, restaurants, and other stuff. I don't think it's impossible for a local who grew up in the area to know things about the installation that the general population outside of the area would not know. To include a strange villa that is literally tucked behind a hill with helicopters coming and going and is surrounded by checkpoints. It is my view that it's more probable that a person who grew up in the area has some insight as to where Maduro may have been during the raid, given their knowledge of the area, plus what has been publicly reported thus far, and is brave enough to say so on a public post regarding the area, versus a dictator taking refuge in a last stand bunker which has a public Google marker on it. Now this video is coming to a close, but if you give me a little bit more of your time, I do have a personal anecdotal story that supports the whole if you've been around a military installation, you might catch wind of some things, which is also pretty funny. This story is from a while ago, and during this time period, I had a secret security clearance that allowed me access to places like tactical operations centers, which my infantry buddies could not access with me. While I was in service, we did PT, physical training, in the woods, running through dirty rivers, obstacle courses people made, etc. One day, we went out there for PT, and black SUVs came up on us on a dirt road / fire break, and some dudes not in camouflage uniform hopped out and nicely told us to vacate the area. Us, fresh from a combat deployment, were pretty much like, eat our ass, which they replied in short, you don't want this smoke. After a little bit of a back and forth, it was very apparent that we were encroaching on an area that A, was under surveillance, and B, was off limits to us, paratroopers. I still don't know what that was about and never asked, and like I say, not my monkey, not my zoo. Now I can imagine local kids and teenagers being out for a bit of fun, messing around near a military installation, and catching wind of something that is not public knowledge, especially with a military that A, doesn't have the ability to track people like the United States does, and B, might not have the discipline to keep good security. Like someone telling their buddy to stay awake so he can catch some sleep. Then 2 hours later, they wake up only to find their buddy is also asleep, and just not telling anyone out of fear of being reprimanded.
Nah. Beat up. Police 1. Radio check.
Landline.
Oh my God! Yo, you supposed to be out. We supposed to take turns. You slept already, and did I sleep? Did you sleep? Dang, man.
Just tell them we was on the wrong frequency.
The wrong frequency for 3 hours. We was on the wrong frequency for 3 hours. No, I'm not gonna believe that. We get an article because of you. Dang.
This is a skit, but I will say I have worked on enough Air Force installations to confidently say they are the least disciplined branch out of all the branches. Except for the pilots. Those dudes are pretty badass. With all the undisciplined bullshit I have seen and not seeing one person doing a single push-up or getting yelled at, I honestly don't know if NCOs exist there. Or it could be jealousy that for every mistake I made, I got dragged through the sandpit. I don't know. Now, I'm not going to say, this is where he was, I figured it out, guys. This is pretty much me sharing information that can be substantiated with satellite images and news articles, with a hint of speculation based on an ex-local's vague post. I don't know if I'll keep making videos guessing where Maduro was exactly. It does feel like I'm purely speculating and shooting in the dark here. I think it would be very interesting to break down what the tactical situation most likely was once boots hit the ground in an informed and informative way, which is the whole point of the real life content section of my channel. But if you found this entertaining or informative, let me know and I'll keep shooting in the dark for you if you'd like. Thanks for watching. Shot over, shot out.